Good evening, folks. Welcome to Thursday nights here at Telling Tales. We are doing some Wicked Ones, and you cannot make me corpse, John, no matter how hard you try. John tried to make me corpse in the chat. We are doing some Thursday night Wicked Ones. So tonight, thank you for joining us. Before we get to all that, I will do a wee intro to Telling Tales. We stream tabletop roleplay here on the internet for you to watch on Twitch, and then we put it up on YouTube afterwards for you to check out. Camera to very slightly lower. Yeah, that's a sweet spot. Thank you for joining us. We are currently doing Wicked Ones every other week on Thursday evenings. We're doing Blade Runner on Wednesdays, which I think might be nearly finished now. I can be corrected in chat if not, which is the kind of interim series for Simbaru. Which has been a very long-running series on, I say Mondays. Why am I saying Wednesday? Monday. No, it is Wednesdays. What's going on in my brain? I do Mondays. That's on Wednesdays. Gosh, just forgetting days of the week. Blade Runner has finished, so don't go looking for that anymore in live streams. That was on Wednesdays. There will be a return to Simbaru soon, which is run by Matt. Doing so well. Mondays is me doing Warhammer every other week with the new series We Deal in Lead just started, which is currently run by Jack. I don't think anyone else is planning on running that. I think it's going to be run by Jack. Sadly, there's a bit of a break. We gave you a little teaser. I think that's due to be back in May sometime. So go check out those other bits. We also have one-shots that go on Sundays, well, Saturdays or Sundays, about once a month, variably depending how well we manage to organise things. So keep an eye out for those. It's all up on YouTube, like 3.5 years worth of it up on YouTube. So check it all out. All of our other links are below to other stuff like Discord, which is lots of people chatting away on there. We have a Patreon. Thank you very much to all of the patrons who support us in doing this, to social media and the like. So check it out if you're interested. Yeah, cool. So Wicked Ones. Let me bring on Jean to do a bit of an intro to what was going on last session and what we're doing. Wicked Ones being awful evilness from horrible monsters. So watch out for the awful evilness. And John playing Slee, a snake person, who is awful and evil, a wicked one.
Yes.
Very wicked. And singular.
Do you want to know more about Slee, or do you want to know what we've been up to?
Yeah, I threw you a bit out there, didn't I, with my saying Slee, whereas normally we do the we'll do the what's been happening first of all, and then we can do a Slee. That's probably the better way around.
So the broad overview to look at our evil master plan was that we led an attack on the barony, or the baroness. I'm going to say barony because it's the region.
Yeah.
To try to make it look like an attack on Rivertown, from Rivertown, and then ended up sort of accidentally kidnapping her daughter. So to try and further the animosity that actually didn't exist, as far as we know, really, between the barony and Rivertown, we then continued with our evil plan, convince the daughter that she had been kidnapped by Rivertown, and then proceed to sell her to Rivertown. So last session started with us attacking a boat, heading to Rivertown to try and drum up the animosity from their side, because until this point, they've had absolutely nothing to do with this.
Yep.
I think quite successful, as in the attack on the boat was successful. Our attempts to convince whoever would come across it that it was by the barony was slightly mixed.
I think you had the
we had the gnomes.
The gnomes, thank you. The gnome racketeers were persuaded to help you in this with
as a neutral
mixed
third
success.
party.
Yes.
To go to Rivertown and say, we just saw the barony attack one of your ships.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now they were aware that they were apparently at war. And then the second part of the session was our actual plan to try and get a ransom for the Baroness's daughter. So we rocked up on the outside of Rivertown, and Osric, Tereth, and the body snatcher. I don't know why I always call him a grave digger. The body snatcher as the three most human-looking people, one of which is a human, sort of, approached a group of fancy knights coming out of Rivertown, ended up just by happenstance being like the leader of Rivertown's son, I think we figured out.
Yeah.
And negotiated essentially a hostage transfer. Slightly tentative, because this man was understandably quite suspicious about three people, two of which were hooded figures, not entirely human looking, with possible horns under their hoods, coming up and saying, "Hello, we'd like to sell you a human." We got there in the end, and no one died, and Slee stayed back safe in the tree line along with Beepo, as far as Slee knew, whereas actually Beepo put on their invisibility cloak, wandered into Rivertown, defaced a couple of religious idols, and got cheesed, basically, and had to make a run for it.
Yeah, and sadly lost the invisibility cloak as well in the escape.
I thought they managed to get it.
Oh, did they resist that? They might have resisted that, actually.
Yeah, they did.
I think they did. I think they resisted that. I noted that down incorrectly. I noted down it was taken, but you're absolutely right. They really resist that.
They did have to swap something out for it, though, I think. No, it was just stress, wasn't it?
It was just a stress, yeah.
Yeah,
that was a good summary. And no clocks were ticked, and no suspicion was cast in any direction other than where you wanted it to from any of those appearances.
And we got a huge amount of cash.
You did get a vast quantity of cash.
We got 3 gold bars,
Mm-hmm.
which was worth a dungeon upgrade.
Which is worth, got your dungeon up to tier 2. So that has happened. And we'll get to that fun stuff during the lurking phase. Yes, thank you. And that was a very good intro. And why don't you give us a little intro to Slee as well, who you are?
Slee is a Slissock/snake person shadow, which is this world's version of a rogue. They are sneaky. They hide in the shadows. They quite like to hide up top and drop down on people. They've done that a few times, and it's always quite fun. And they also really like eating.
Yep. That's a pretty good summary. I don't know. I think maybe bring up the map in the background when we put people on, just because we're talking a lot about locations, so it might be nice.
The dungeon map or the world map?
The world map, if that's available. Just occurring to me. It'd be nice for folks to see that as well while we're nattering away. And I'll say that, and then I'll also say we could bring the next player and just put all the demands upon doing things on screen, which just feels very mean. So I won't say that. I'll instead say, in a moment after the map has come up, we will then be ready to put up the next player.
I would have rather you'd done it the other way around, but thank you for trying.
Oh gosh. Yeah, but it was definitely a somewhat messy session. I'm safe to say that it wasn't exactly a perfect raid. We'll see whether we decide it was a 2D or a 1D in a moment. But as you see there, Riverton and the Barony. I think you were going to say to me it definitely wasn't a 1D because you got the money there, John.
I was going to say that I don't know if we're aware that it wasn't absolutely flawless, because as far as we're concerned, we had totally trustworthy witnesses, so trustworthy that we managed to bribe them. And we left perfectly credible evidence at the scene of the crime, which were some handmade barony tabards.
I'm not disagreeing with that part. It's more you can't pretend that the second part went flawlessly. Okay, maybe Slee can, not having been in the conversation, but as a player, you know that didn't go. That was like inch from death for a good 15 minutes of roleplay.
Yeah, probably.
The scene where he demanded the names, that was all fine, was it? Anyway, I should bring on other players. Getting distracted. Cool, let's bring on Steve. Steve, who plays Tereth, who had a pretty good session last session. Had Tereth did pretty well last session, eh, Steve?
Apparently.
Steve, if anyone asks, your character's name is Jory, okay?
I have got that noted down.
How do you spell that?
Jory.
Jory.
Okay. The totally ordinary name of Jory. Right. Okay.
We don't know that it's not normal in this world. Could be perfectly normal.
I love the idea that actually in like the light tongue of the Riverton, it's actually just a swear word. Just name yourself some horrific swear word. I mean, that would be exactly what a wicked one would accidentally do. So amazing. Yeah, so Steve, you've had a few sessions off, and Tereth has been busy in the meantime. I hope you don't mind the bits of stress you got. You did get a decent amount of XP, so why don't you intro a bit of your character and then tell us about what you spent that on?
Yeah, so Tereth is a demon conniver. So his skills lie, at least nominally, in manipulating people, telling lies, confronting people with awkward truths, that sort of thing. No combat skills to speak of, that has to be said. So, yes, I was quite pleased that other people were rolling Tereth's dice last session, because it does sound a wee bit squeaky. But, any conversation you can walk away from is as far as Tereth is concerned, is fine.
Walking away, just walking away. So
yeah, not running, not crawling. It's all good. Yeah, so I have been. I think I'm settled on this. There are some sort of wrinkles to work out in terms of why this skill has manifested or will manifest, but for Wicked One's characters, you get one flexibility slot. Usually you have to pick your skills from the callings list, but you do get one flexibility slot, and I'm quite taken by the beast form skill from the shaman class, which basically allows you to turn into a beast, swap to skill scores over, and probably create carnage.
Yeah, perfect. So we'll see what makes that manifest. Perhaps that will decide the entirety of the circumstance. But yeah, it's safe to say lots of fun, and we have been chatting a little bit about what that looks like as well. Maybe that'll come up. Cool, thanks, Steve. And finally, we'll bring on Sam. Hey, Sam.
Hello.
You made it.
Just about.
Just about. How and who is Osric?
Osric is a demon warlock. He's doing okay. Probably a little bit shaken by, as you say, just how close we came to being easily killed by a group of knights, I think. But equally, happy that we got away with it. We got a bunch of gold. The dungeon's going better than ever. And, mission accomplished. No problemo. Osric likes. I felt like Osric will enjoy having a fancier dungeon, more befitting his grand sorcery. So yeah, all good. Everything going well.
Amazing. Cool. Thank you, folks. Apologies, no Chris tonight. Sadly, no Chris tonight. Okay, so first things first, blowback time. Now, I think we can kind of rule out that it went perfect. It's safe to say. It's not a 3 dice. No, not character view, John. Player view, this is. I want you to persuade me that it did not go off the rails, as is described by the 1 dice roll, blowback roll, which you don't want. You want to get 2 dice. Persuade me.
I mean, I'd say just simply the fact that we managed to achieve what we were after means it didn't go completely off the rails.
That's true. But I would say something could go off the rails and you could still achieve your objective. So it doesn't rule it out. But it's a case to watch.
We weren't. I say we weren't caught. I guess Beepo was glimpsed briefly, but
and you weren't physically caught. But there was definitely suspicion piled upon you. But maybe they didn't get a good look at who you were, to be fair. So maybe that doesn't help them at all.
There's a bit of a... Sorry, go ahead, Sam.
I feel like that is almost perfectly a 2 dicer, right? Because it, like, if we had to like flee from the scene running off with our bars of gold, then I felt like at that point it's got off the rails.
Hmm.
If we'd have had no suspicion on us whatsoever and they just handed over the gold, no problem, that's one dice. I felt like
I see
what
what you
happened
mean.
was precisely a 2 dice. Like we got a bit of suspicion, but it was like it never really got out of hand off the
I see what
rails.
you
Like
mean. Off the rails would be running for your lives, wouldn't it? You
Yeah,
do have a
we-
good
we-
point. Yeah.
We didn't have to break into sort of plans D, E, or F.
All of those well-prepared plans that you had.
if the
You know
plan
what
is
the F
still
stands
up,
for.
if it's still a passing grade, then I feel like it's not fully off the rails. Once you get into like the Fs, then you're
Okay. You persuaded me. We can go back to the main screen now. It's a 2 dice roll. That would be 2 twos. So that is a failure, major blowback. Okay, so you are skulking and sneaking your way back post raid. I think Slee will be the first to get a check at noticing this. So what is the notice things ability? Because I never have the character sheet up. Or
Scan, probably.
Scan, thank you. Yes, scan.
Sorry, I'm just digging out my dice tray out from the stack of sketchbooks that I piled on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be a finesse roll then.
So Slee, you probably kind of wait for the others to follow. This is basically immediately after that conversation that ended at the last raid. The Osric and Tereth and the Body Snatcher are coming towards you. As far as you know, Beepo's still standing nearby. And you're waiting for them to arrive and you're just watching. So go ahead and make your scan.
So my scan is only 1.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 5.
Okay. You aren't sure, but it looks like there's a conversation going on. They've kind of this guy and a few of the shiny knights who were with him have wandered back over to the main group, who actually kind of it looked like he waved them on earlier, but they kind of didn't leave. They actually set up a camp a bit further down the road. Are you waiting for him, or maybe just unsure what to do? You're watching them and you see them ride down there, and you can kind of just make out that they've gathered in a circle and clearly having a conversation, but you don't know what to make about that.
And are Osric, Tereth, and the Body Snatcher still sort of in the middle of a wide open area at this point?
Yes, for now they're still on the way back. It's a decent distance, they were maybe half a mile away from you.
Okay. Can I, still in the tree line, get any closer?
Yeah, you could try and skirt the tree line to get closer to where they are. You definitely never be able to get close enough to hear or tell what's going on in any detail, but you could make it easier to detect it, perhaps.
I will get a bit closer and I will say, Beepo, you stay here for when Tereth and Osric get back.
There's no reply.
Of course there isn't. They're very mysterious. But I will then sneak off.
Sounds good. Cool. Okay, Osric and Tereth, you return to the rocks and there's no sign of Slee. You're just going to basically straight back with your gold, I presume, at this point.
I mean, maybe we'd have a look around the immediate area for Slee or Beepo or any other kobolds. Maybe the kobolds didn't come with us.
I think the kobolds. I think there was probably an option to bring them, but I feel like Beepo would have not brought them because
I think they came with us for the boat, but
Yes.
maybe they didn't come with us for
because
this.
this is like one raid. We've kind of bent the rules a bit, so they could have come on both, but I mean there was no purpose to them coming on.
Turning
It would
up
have just been a hindrance.
My God, yes.
Can you imagine? Stealthy. Shh. Slee has to be there the whole time, like basically.
And then they start shushing each other.
Yeah. Okay, so well, Sam, you said first. So Osric, give me a scan. You're muted. Your
One
scan is
scan.
1 because I could lip read.
That's a 1 on my scan
Okay.
roll.
You can't see Slee. No idea. Go on. Sorry.
Do I get a look?
I'll get you a. Yeah, you can have a scan for something slightly different then.
Okay.
If you're looking around as well.
Yeah, it would be sort of, I think, trying to walk casually away to like the extraction point or the point where, you get the sort of end of mission thing before then. Yeah, so trying to keep up a front at least for a little while. I rolled a 3 and a 6.
6. Okay, so you will notice what Slee has not noticed. Slee, you're kind of moving through the brush and trying to keep an eye on these things, but while you're getting closer, you can't see immediately, so you haven't noticed this yet. Tereth, you noticed that the knights have head over. They've had a bit of conversation, and 3 riders and a few other people are heading in the direction you went.
As in following us, or
yes, as in following you. There's no path down here, so the only conclusion you can draw is they're following you.
Osric, I think we're being followed.
Oh, that is not good. We should probably run. Are we out of sight, Sam? Like, are we in a tree line that's...
You've got no light, so I think, you're probably... I think you're not certain. It's like a kind of cloudy moon. There's some moon. You don't know how good these humans' dark eyesight is, really. You could probably make you out. Can they? Not got any torches. You could ask the body snatcher. Could he make you out?
Stand over there.
Yeah.
I might send the body snatcher up as a go over there. Run out in that field, body snatcher.
even him being your minion, he might be a little.
Is there any way you can create a distraction? Maybe not zombies immediately. I don't know. I mean, it would be distracting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that is my go-to, but maybe we could get a bit deeper in the forest or in this kind of cover, and then it might be a bit easier to fool them with something or trick them somehow. Like out here, they're a bit close to all their guys.
You're right. Yeah. Let's pick up the pace a bit then.
Okay, I want you to make me a finesse or skulk to see how quickly and safely you can get to the tree line. Slee, a bit of time has passed because you were kind of moving through and you didn't succeed at your earlier scan, so you notice the riders have kind of almost moved past you now. So there's a group of 3 riders and 4 people walking. So they're just kind of trotting or even just walking basically on their horses. Don't not racing, but you can tell they're absolutely following Tereth and Osric. A decent way behind them. You're kind of to the side now. They don't seem to have ever noticed you.
Okay. How far behind Tereth and Osric are they?
Probably at least a few hundred meters, like 300 or 400 meters. So, if those horses suddenly went up to a gallop, it would take them 30 seconds to a minute to get to. I mean, horses go quick, but you hope they're not going to do that. Tereth and Osric could probably just make it to the tree line, though, if that happened.
Oh, they're still out in the open.
Yes. We'll find out for how long in a moment.
Okay. I'm going to rush to basically be at where they're going to hit the tree line.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. You're going to head kind of back down, kind of right to skulk around where they're going to be entering. That makes sense. And you have the jump on them because you can see where they're going, so you have an advantage here. Cool.
I would like to, if I can, get there in time to set up a bit of a trap.
Okay. What kind of a trap are you thinking? So I have an indication for time. It's got to be quick, obvious, but. Shall I give you a minute to think and we do the roll?
I'm gonna say that maybe I grabbed a net off the boat, and I'm going to set up a rope, like a net above the tree line. Prepare for a rope to go under the tree line and fill the net with smoke bombs.
Yeah, that sounds good. I like that. I want you to make a finesse to do that successfully.
Gladly.
Which I think is your.
That.
Well, I would say finesse or tinker, but your finesse is your good one.
Finesse.
I would have gone for just tinker, but you said climbing trees and things. I was like,
That's a 6.
Yes, you do that. Tereth and Osric, how were your running rolls? I won't make one for the body snatcher.
Well, I only have one die in Skulk, but I rolled 6. So
Ooh, very nice.
These Lord of the Rings dice that I'm using this week seem to be okay so far.
I got a mixed.
Okay, so Osric Tereth speeds off into the forest ahead of you with a deftness you are slightly jealous of. Hooves pounding the soil. You hurry as quick as you can, but it's safe to say you're lagging a bit. As you turn around, you see the riders seem to have sped to a canter and are gaining on you a bit. You still think you'll make it to the tree line, but it's going to be close. Tara, since you're ahead, I think you could see Slee just about setting up this trap. And I think it's safe to say the roll makes enough of a difference that you kind of pass just as Slee is setting the trap going. Because they are heroes, I'm going to make a roll for them to see how fast they can move, since they have now spotted you. Okay, it's a mixed, so they're not going to catch you, Osric. So they gain on you because they're on horses, but they don't catch you until you're past Slee's trap. What is the plan? Are you just pegging it straight to the dungeon now, or are you hanging around at the tree line?
Depends what they do. I mean, running in. I think Osric's plan is to get as far into the tree line as he can, and if they chase after us, then who knows if we'll make the dungeon or if we want to go to the dungeon. But if they stop at the tree line, then all good to head back, I suppose.
Well, the question is, are you waiting to watch them, or are you just going right now? That's the decision, really.
I think I'd acknowledge Slee, but not stop, just sort of head deeper in.
Yeah. Gotcha.
To what I think is a safe distance.
Well, you're not a long way from the dungeon. You're probably half an hour from the dungeon now. You're in the tree line because it's only just there. You're not far from Riverton. Obviously that would be the safest place. Maybe you can already just hear those whispers that are the telltale local environment of the dungeon.
Yeah, the weather's getting worse and it's foggy and whatnot. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. It's getting foggy. Yeah, you feel like home. Okay, so it sounds like vaguely just kind of continue heading on. And if folks are happy with that, Slee, are you happy to do the same, or do you want to try and get your trap going a bit more
here? Part of me wants to throw my displacement arrows in there just to see if they do anything, but I wouldn't get to watch the chaos and I wouldn't get them back. So I think I'm fine with leaving it how it is.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Sounds good. Okay, I would like you all, if that's kind of the decision, then to make me a skulk roll, and we'll just see how generally you're going to do with not making a big obvious path straight back to the dungeon sort of thing.
Yeah, I do think we'd be as careful as possible about not leading them.
Yes, that I suppose I kind of assumed you weren't deliberately leading them back in that, didn't I?
I rolled a 5, so that's mixed for me.
Okay.
I failed, but I think I gain a point in Skulk because I have no Skulk, and this was my third roll. Is it?
Oh right,
yeah. Oh yeah. That sounds right. I think you do gain your point in Skulk. I think it would be end of session though when you do XP. I don't think it is right now.
Yeah.
Exciting. practice XP actually happening.
Having praised my dice, I then rolled a 2 and failed. So bad dice. Don't do that.
That is not very good stealthing between the group there. You are not caught, but you can hear the hooves moving after you. Effectively, because of the environment you're in, they can't catch up with you in the forest. There's not easy paths, and there's a group of them, but you know they are following you. You effectively dash straight into the dungeon, aware that you are being immediately followed. And as you enter, you yell to the minions to deal with it, because of course it is beneath you. And we will go to dungeon. Yeah, time for a bit of dungeon map. Okay, let me see if I can get the dungeon defense. So first of all, now I did note this down. The blah 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 blah. The twisted landscape you have around your dungeon because of the sanctum type you chose, or the dungeon type you chose, is actually counts as a trap. A tier 2 now, because you've leveled your dungeon. A tier 2 trap. So who wants to roll for the whispering voices in the environment, effectively, around the dungeon that are going to try and put them off? Or shall I roll to see who rolls?
I'll roll.
Cool.
Tier 2, so that's 2 dice, yeah?
Yes, tier 2, so 2, indeed.
It's a 6.
Okay. I would like you to describe how this is going to affect the group. Go for it, and I'll tell you if it seems out of
I think it, like, there's the simple answer that, with the noise of the whispers, they can't follow us as much and they start to get confused. But then I think as they start to get further in and the fog starts to build and they start to drift further apart, and they could swear, like, it was just voices, but I could swear that was the other knight who was telling me to go over there, or maybe the other one who is oh god, is he in trouble? No, it's sort of slowly leading them all off into other directions.
I like it. That's fun. So they're going to so basically this is pushing them apart, splitting them up, maybe meaning only some of the group arrives and some of the others might get lost and arrive later on, that sort of thing. That's good. I like that. This is a good opportunity to introduce the group because as players we can see who they are. So 3 individuals in shining plate armor approach on their horses, quite different in shape and size. One of them is the man you were talking to at the entrance of the of Riverton. So presumably, as you kind of assumed, the son of the old lord of Riverton. He is wearing the shiny armor you saw him before. He has a round shield. He has a helmet with a kind of plume on the top, and a mighty-looking chunky sword. Behind him rides a short, squat dwarf on a pony, who is wearing similar plate armor, but has is completely bald and has like a band around his head, and definitely holds like a staff in his hand. And then behind him rides an enormous man on an enormous horse with a shield that is probably taller than Slee, and Slee is the tallest of the lot of you. So just massive in all proportions. You can only assume that. In completely clad in plate armor, visor closed, just a slit at the front. An absolute machine. And a few kind of hirelings and sorts follow them, kind of, a squire carrying another sword, and then someone just with a bow, and someone just carrying like a banner basically behind them. So there are 6 of them in total. And as this trap initiates, the one in the middle, the dwarf with the band, is going to use one of their moves. They are going to use guidance to attempt to prevent the mysterious voices from affecting them. So this will be, and their stats. Okay, it's going to be 2 dice. And they get a mixed. Okay, so a mixed in this context would mean lessening the effect of the word. So I think I'm going to have it so the heroes stay together entirely, but the hirelings get lost, rather than I'm just going to split the heroes up with the other one, which is better for them, but still annoying. So the hirelings might show up at some point, but they're not showing up yet. The 3 heroes, however, the guidance kind of sticks with them. Yeah, my dice are miles away from my mic. That's surprising. I know I'll put something on the
Yeah, I was gonna. If you've got like a book or something.
paper. Let me know if this is too loud. And yeah, they arrive at the front of your dungeon. So I think it's. Oh, do we remember what's at the front of the dungeon? I think we do. Let me find the name. Galbataroxyginix.
No, Galbataroxynix has been moved to like just in front of the library.
Oh, apologies. Never mind.
He's
We'll get to
the
Galbax and
red
Taroxyginix
diamond.
Okay. These 3 heroes find the entrance to your dungeon and with a yell start marching bravely down the steps. The enormous man takes the front with a lead, with his shield kind of raised in front of him, marching down, almost shaking the steps as he tramps down those stairs. Which way would you like him to go when he first comes to this entrance? I think we know what the answer is, right?
Well, the cordyceps.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So I'll make my roll. If it's bad, then he goes that way. 50-50.
I mean, as far as he's aware, it might be the only way.
Mm-hmm.
Because
when they don't know which way, it's a 50-50.
No, but that trap there is a fake wall.
Oh, we have to confront the
So
trap
roll
first,
to see whether he recognizes it.
We'll go on then. Let's have Steve roll this trap then, and see.
Okay, is this a tier 1? So 1 die?
Yeah.
Check if any of this guy's stats are going to affect it.
I rolled a 5.
Okay, so mixed. And his stats are... Oh, one of his stats is indecisive. I think I'm going to turn that mixed, because that's his negative stat. I'm going to turn that mixed into a full success because of that indecisive trait.
Nice.
It just seems to be perfect here. So he's going to be very confused and then march indecisively into the quadriceps area.
Nice.
Thoroughly confused. And Sam, I guess, do you want to roll for the quadriceps then, as the other 2 heroes follow?
They are just tier 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how 1. Sad.
Okay.
Oh.
The quadriceps lumber forwards slowly, and they have no hope against the armor and the shield of this man, who basically just walks forward, battering them aside and squashing them into the wall, and just crushing them underfoot. Whether the toxic fumes don't seem to bother him in any reasonable way. The other 2 kind of stand back a bit as he does this, and he marches to the end, to the wall, looks around a bit confused, looks down the river, and then just points back up the hallway. And a moment later is back up to the hallway. So the quadriceps have been defeated. They will need to be regenerated because they got wiped out of this. So we'll make a note of that. Okay, that trick.
I hope at least they can carry some spores back home with them.
I would like you to make another roll for that trick. They're going to overcome it eventually, but this is just how much more of an impediment it gives them.
Shall I roll that again?
Go for it.
6.
Okay, so it's going to hold them up quite significantly. So this will give a chance for minions to hear them, basically. Yeah, the body snatchers here as well. So do you want to make scan rolls for... Oh, we haven't done where the minions are yet, have we? Of course. So make rolls to see how 1 dice rolls to see where your minions start. Oh, we don't. Yeah, go on.
I'll roll for the kobold. Sam, do you want to roll for the body snatcher?
Mm-hmm.
So tempted to get a gravedigger minion as well.
Driver's mad.
That is 4. So the kobolds are sort of bothering the bats, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds good.
The body snatcher got a 3.
So that's a fail, so he's sleeping.
Okay.
So he is not going to notice.
Oh, wait. I thought the dice roll was to determine which sextant they were on the map.
No. This just defines. So a mixed for the kobolds is starting a less than ideal situation. I think that is less than ideal to me. They'll notice, but also they're not behind a door and they're not particularly defensible. and they need to decide where. So I think that's quite good. I like that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so they will notice that someone is at that trick. What do they do? I'm happy for you to kind of discuss it in this case. Are they going to charge headlong in, or are they going to run back to try and raise awareness? We could just do a roll.
Maybe they could try and lead them towards the pit if they're already at the bats. They could like.
Yeah, I like that. So they're going to kind of lurk in that corridor with the intention of leading them towards the pit.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. So eventually, these adventurers figure out the trick, basically the false door in this space. It's kind of what I imagine being something to. It's not like a protected door. It's just something that doesn't look like you can get through. But they force their way through and cross the bridge. And what are the kobolds going to do?
They're probably going to go and then run down the corridor.
Okay, let me look.
Does that seem fair, Steve and Sam? Was that noise right?
From my point of view, yeah. Heroes can't resist bullying kobolds. So.
I like that, yeah. And I think that's fair. I think the Centurion, sorry, I just called his class, the guy who's leading them, not that it helps you anything, the kind of lord of the group will charge forward, completely ignoring the trap on that corner because he's going to the south. And the other two will follow because he is, yeah, that makes sense to me. And I think he's got a thing here, so he's very quick, so he's going to catch the kobolds. So the kobolds are going to have to try and fight him here. So someone's going to have to make a roll to see if the kobolds can fend him off. If you want the kobolds to just be trying to escape, you can make a roll just along those lines instead, though.
I think they'd be fighting a kind of retreating action kind of thing, like mostly trying to get away to the pit and the bats and slitherax and hoping that.
Okay, that sounds good.
So
this is more of an escape. So that's a skulk or a finesse, I think, which they probably have none of.
Does anyone know what the kobold stats are?
Oof.
Well, I'll be generous and give you a 1 dice, even though I'm pretty sure they don't have dice in either of those things. I'll be nice. Someone want to make me a 1 dice roll for them trying to get away.
Okay, give it a go.
I'll go
I've been rolling terribly, so I made a good roll. That's how statistics work.
That's how dice work, yeah.
Unless you talk about it, and then
it's mixed, so reasonable.
Okay. They are they succeed at getting away, but the cost will be that they are going to have to recover basically from their escape, so they're not going to be able to be in doing things in the dungeon for a little bit. Now, what was the bottomless pit trap there? Was it just a hole in the ground that's disguised for them to fall into? Is that right?
It's just the bottomless pit.
So fall into the bottomless pit, and there's like a little tiny gap around the side they've got to climb around, so it's almost like a dexterity thing. Okay. Well, we'll go back to the top. Steve, do you want to make a roll to see how bad the bottomless pit's going to be for them?
Sure. Another D1. Yeah, I rolled a 1, so the bottomless pit definitely has
rolls
bottom.
it, folks.
Probably only like 3 feet deep or something at this point. Perhaps the safety cover's still on it.
Yeah,
it's still full of water.
You left the cover on top, the bottom. Someone, see what it was, if someone was doing some maintenance and they left their little bridge on. So it's like the group just go and just track across the bridge with no difficulty whatsoever. But the bats are sure to present more of an issue, right? John, do you want to see if the bats do present more of an issue?
Let's see. That's a 2.
My gosh. This is not looking good for you.
I mean, bats are historically,
The bats are, it's nighttime when the bats are out. There's no bats in the bat cave.
Oh, no. We should have thought about that.
On the upside, well, you were expected to be attacked in the day. On the upside, the bats aren't killed. like the quadriceps. So I guess that's kind of an upside. On the downside, it would have been nice for these heroes to be, attacked rather than reach you on full health, potentially causing an existential threat to your existence. But
Well, that's about to happen.
Yep. Slitherax time. Now, Slitherax is definitely in. So, Sam, you want to see how the 2-die Slitherax might do against these mighty adventurers who have so far had a very unhindered travel through your dungeon.
It's not looking good, guys. That's a 1 and a 2.
God. And I can't use my skill to because these aren't player characters.
No, I don't. It has to be a player character, doesn't it? Yeah. This is so bad. Okay. Well, Slitherax will awaken and pounce and go to bite one of the heavily armored guy who's now leading, the giant who's now leading, and will bring his jaws down on the shield and get wedged and stuck on it. And I'm going to make a roll back because that seems only fair. Okay. So he did not roll well back, so that means Slitherax will live. So basically there's a stalemate for a while where they battle and fight. But Slitherax is forced to retreat up the cave and will not confront these individuals.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's looking great, folks.
I'm sure we can take him. Right.
So they reach the library and they start ransacking your books and things while they're there. The body snatcher will now wake up.
Not the cookbooks, no.
So you can now choose to do something with the body snatcher, who will be in minion layer 1. The kobolds will be in minion layer 2. I think they can probably start acting again now too.
Okay.
Any particular actions you'd like your minions to take?
Let me look at what the body snatcher has and does. Okay.
They just disappoint you.
Yeah. He has 5 points in disappointing me. He can skulk, invoke, and scan. I think he's gonna come out and he's gonna cast some kind of spell at them. Some kind of the one he's tried to do before. That's like an energy, a vigor sapping spell. Yeah. He's gonna cast that on the biggest one.
The big guy.
Like he needs a lot of vigor to get around. He's big.
It's true. Yeah, go ahead and make the roll. How many dice does he have for this?
He only has 1, but I'm gonna do his morale. So
that sounds worth it.
Okay, a 4 and a 5. So mixed.
Okay, that's good. Yep. So that does 1 damage to this dude, as his life force is sapped a bit away. You kind of, as what happens is the body snatcher comes around and this guy kind of he does crumple to one knee, kind of gasping heavily, and then he gets back up and then he starts stomping angrily towards the body snatcher, who will go and probably back up. What's the plan now, body snatcher?
I think it definitely back up. Maybe it depends. Did he come from minion layer 2 or minion layer 1?
Minion layer 1.
Okay, he's not got many places to go. I mean,
is that red tunnel a new tunnel job?
It's a tunnel that the imps dug because we didn't give them enough environmental enrichment. That doesn't lead anywhere.
So it does, but it does go a bit further.
It does go a bit further. Let me just. It goes off the page, but I think it's supposed to go like up here-ish.
So he could just crawl into the tunnel. That's an option.
100%. Thank God for the imps.
Good stuff. He's going to crawl into the tunnel. I'm going to make a roll to see how angry he is. Maybe use a move. He's pretty pissed. Yeah, he's going to use his bull rush move, and he's going to charge like a monster to try and catch the body snatcher before he can escape, and roll a 2. So he's not going to do that. So he just wastes his move. That was nice for you, since they only get 3 of them. The body snatcher is well and truly within the tunnel when this monstrous man piles into the side of it and tries to reach in and grab the body snatcher. I think thematically he can't fit in the tunnel. I think he's too big.
The body snatcher will produce a trademark body snatcher laugh at this man who's too big to fit in the tunnel.
Love it. The other dude will push him out of the way and get a throwing spear out to throw down the tunnel at the body snatcher.
The body snatcher stops laughing.
And will fail. So that was not a move, that was just an attack. But the body snatcher is free and good, and if they decide to stay, can continue to try and curse them. I think at this point you can do you want to try and do it again?
Just hiding in the tunnel where they can't reach him and chucking curses out there.
The only one of them that's small enough to fit in here in armor is probably the dwarf, and he doesn't look like he wants to.
Okay. I don't know if that would make the body snatcher curse the dwarf or avoid cursing the dwarf to avoid annoying him and getting him in the tunnel. He's gonna curse the big guy again. Focus fire. He doesn't have a morale to spend this time though, so still a 4, so another mixed.
Yeah, another 1. So the other guy, again, kind of falls to a knee and is gasping, and a little bit of blood drips down from inside his armored helm with this curse. And the cleric, revealed what he is as well, but that's probably obvious, will pat him on the back and hurry him out of the room, basically taking the sensible decision to just move away from this dude who's hiding in a tunnel, cursing you. And then the cleric will use another one of his moves, Restoration, to see if he can heal. Healing. And he will get a mix, so he will heal 1 of those damage on the big dude, which isn't too bad given he had a 3 dice roll for that. Only got a mixed. Okay, kobolds, are they gonna? I think we can decide if they wanted to do something now as well. They could try and draw them into the gem chamber, or try and get somewhere else.
Can they do anything?
Well, the gem chamber is a trap. So
no, I mean, didn't you say that they need to take some time to recuperate?
They've had their time now.
Okay, cool.
They've been out of action for this long.
Then maybe for now, lead them into the gem chamber.
Okay, so they're going to try and draw these folks in that way. I think they're going to need. Go on.
Ooh. Would the kobolds be smart enough for that? Probably not. Never mind.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking if they could split them up somehow. There's only a group of 4.
I'm happy because this is kind of the meta thing that this game allows you to do. I'm happy for the kobolds to attack in such a way that they might drive them apart. And there's 3 of them.
Oh, there's 3 of them.
Yeah, the big guy, the the leader, effectively the one that you knew from who was talking to you, and the cleric.
Right. And the dwarf.
The dwarf is the cleric.
Oh. Now I understand.
Dwarves can be clerics too.
Yeah, exactly. Assuming dwarves can't be clerics. Yeah, if you want that to be a thing, the kobolds attack in such a way that their successes will drive them apart rather than doing damage. Happy for that to be a thing.
Do we think that is a good idea, guys?
Very risky for the kobolds, but
it is. They are quite cowardly.
Yeah, I don't know if they'd be full on attacking, but what do kobolds have? Do they attack with their bare claws and things like that?
I think they actually have a point in mind, so they will actually be all right in that. It's whatever it is, the hitty one.
The hitty one.
Yeah,
Smash.
Thank you.
I don't want to put someone else's minions at risk, so let's maybe not do that.
If there's any consolation, I don't think your minions can actually get killed on the raids. I think they only get put out of action temporarily. I think it's only the creatures that can get killed on raids.
Let's just draw them into the gem chamber.
Okay. I'm being nice. I'll give you a 1 dice roll, because apparently I need to be nice, because you have a terrible roll so far in the dungeon. 1 dice roll will go on then, John, for the kobolds to succeed at drawing these heroes into the gem chamber.
Okay. That's a 2.
I say be nice, because you might be wondering why 1 dice is nice, but they almost certainly have no dice in this thing, so it would be take the worst normally. Go on, what are you saying?
No, it doesn't matter.
The kobolds, they're in the gem chamber wailing and making all sorts of noise, and it doesn't really attract the heroes in any real way. They're just in there wailing. So now we have the question: which way do you want the heroes to go?
I wanted them to go to the gem chamber.
Well, is that the way you want them to go now? So I make the roll to see if they do go that way. Yeah. So that is the bad roll. So they do not go that way. But they're going to need to roll to detect the secret tunnel. Who's probably going to do that? Do they have any moves for this? Oh,
don't they search everywhere else before they look for the secret tunnel?
Well, unless they have a move that might help them.
Oh.
Seeing if they do. Oh, actually, he does. Oh, yeah, okay. Watchful Eye. That sounds like a use for that purpose. I'll give him a roll. And that's a mix. Oh, I hate mixed in this context. It's like, does he detect it or doesn't he? Is kind of a yes or no. I think.
I mean, there's always a time-based element.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is 2 of them, because they don't think they're in immediate danger anymore. The other, while the big guy looks around very closely at this wall, trying to figure out, he knows there's something going on in the secret tunnel, but he can't figure out how to go in. The other 2 get bored and are going to wander around. So he will find a secret tunnel, but first the other 2 are going to wander off. So they'll split up for a minute. And let's find where the other 2 go. It's kind of 50-50 now. 33%. They're going to head towards the gem chamber. So they do head towards the kobolds. They figure they might as well go and deal with these kobolds while they're waiting, I suppose.
It's free XP in it.
Exactly, yeah. So the gem chamber is a trap, but we haven't got it noted down as a tier.
I think it was just a random room that you gave us, and then last time we looked at the map, you said that we could then use it as a trap, but we never assigned any kind of...
It is listed in the thing. I think it'll be a tier 1, because that was a tier when you got it. So we can note that down. But basically, who hasn't made a roll in a while? Who wants to make a roll to blind them at tier 1? And they come around the corner.
I can fail the roll if you like.
They come around the corner in the darkness and see the dazzling light of the gem chamber, and it
is a 3. So
doesn't really affect them. They're fine. I mean, I know 1 dice isn't that likely to get, but you've rolled below the 50-50 so many times. So the kobolds are going to get no advantage for this.
What are you trying to say, Sam? What are you trying to imply here?
Oh gosh. So I think the kobolds have no choice but to fight now. So, John, would you like to do the honors?
Sure.
I'm going to say they had a morale, so you can use 2 dice.
Okay.
We don't know, but I think it's a safe bet.
Five. That's
mixed.
A mix.
Okay, that's not too bad. So
I love the way we're celebrating. We got a mixed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they're going to go for the cleric because he looks like the softest of all, with his bald head and everything. But the big guy, the leader is going to use one of his moves, defend ally, to see if he can prevent the cleric from being harmed. Fail. So that's a wasted move. It was a mix. So 1 damage to the cleric as the kobolds just claw at him, and it's not nice. And the cleric's like, ugh! He's got like horrible scratches all over his head and everything like that. Then, having not succeeded at defending his ally, the leader is going to attempt to fight them off, just with a straight up fight roll, and get a mixed, which to me means more or less this combat continues. I think because they both got mixed, so the kobolds will get another chance to fight. Yeah. Do you want them to still go for the cleric, or do you want them to fight off the leader? Or the big guy? No, the big guy's not here, of course. So.
I think the cleric's it's starting to look a bit. Well, he's bleeding and he's screaming. So let's keep going for the cleric.
Yeah, sounds good.
Is that 1 die now?
Yes, it will be 1 die now.
Okay. One. I'm gonna swap out my dice, see if that helps.
Okay. They are thoroughly beaten back and now hiding among the gems in that chamber. They do not manage to do any more harm to this dude. He kills like maybe one of them, but the others just flee, knowing that they are totally outmatched by this heavily armored opponent. And these two heroes don't fancy following them into the gems and fighting them in there, so they kind of leave them be and wander back to the main chamber to see what's going on. Has the body snatcher done anything in this time, Osric, as the only other person who could act?
Yeah,
probably can see what's going on. So
I was thinking that like the person who he's been targeting until now has been left alone. So maybe he's gonna climb out of his hole and try and mess with him a bit more, cast some more slightly necromantic spells at him.
Yeah, sounds good. So this is definitely a I don't think you need to roll a skulk or anything. I think this dude's pretty distracted looking for secret tunnel, so just go ahead, straight ahead and make the roll.
Okay. That's a 6.
Ooh, 2 damage. 2.
Nice.
Suddenly, this guy basically collapses, clawing down the wall, and for a moment, he's completely unconscious as much of his life's energy is whipped from his body as the body snatcher cackles maniacally at him. And I think he starts to climb back up to his feet shakily, swearing, blood dripping from his visor as the other two kind of come back around the corner. And the body snatcher presumably makes his escape.
Yeah, backs up again.
Yeah. I love this troll body snatcher. He's done well. He's by far the most effective part of your dungeon right now.
Yeah, like skirmisher, hit and run,
Finally, redemption for the body snatcher.
But this guy had found your secret tunnel. As the other two come around the corner, the ruse is revealed and the secret door is opened. And given the state of the big guy, I think the leader will head down the tunnel first and encounter your wire trap. So, Steve, why don't you make a roll for that? 2 dice.
Sure.
As the quality of the image refuses to be polite.
Yeah, so the idea with this was, I think that there was like an obvious fake pressure pad. But the thing itself is sound activated.
Yeah. So I think they probably noticed the pressure pad and just specifically avoid it, and they kind of say, watch out for and that's what sets it off the sound thing.
So suddenly there's a sort of a whistling noise from the other end of the corridor. 2 dice. Oh my god. 2 6s.
Oh, amazing. Okay, so definitely going to use a move here, which is Athletic Leap from the Centurion.
Right.
Which has 2 dice.
Is there any limit on heroes' moves?
Yes, they have 3.
Okay. Right.
So they're down to 1 each now, which is very useful for you because they're real powerful. And he utterly fails it, so move gone. That's going to describe exactly what this blade does to this man.
Oh.
It's half of his health.
Half of his health.
And he was at full health.
Well, jumping up was not the right thing to do, because it is kind of at neck height. He should have ducked down. So I guess maybe that this razor sharp wire that speeds down the corridor, he's probably going to kind of get caught maybe sort of like mid chest height under an arm or something.
Yeah, I like that. So it's that he did a leap and arm up, and where the arm was thinnest, it went right in there, and like it went right into the side of his chest, and like maybe slightly between his ribs, and it's like it's not quite punctured a lung, but it's gone into the like flesh and muscle there, and blood is pouring out, and as though he's pinged right over by it and flails onto his back, and he's screaming. It's fair to say. I'm actually going to give you an advantage for your engagement roll because this wire trap did so well as well, which is your how aware you are that they're there, because that just seems thematically right.
Nice.
There's another reason I'm going to give you that, is because the cleric will immediately pause and try and do another restoration on this guy using his final move. But he does get 3 dice because he's very good at this. And we're going to mix, so we will only heal 1, which is pretty good given that's his final move for you. So he will tend to this man's wounds. This is what gives you a bit of time to prepare your trap, you see as well. He'll tend to this man's wounds, and the blood is staunch, but it's safe to say he is still severely injured. This was a brutal slicing that just occurred. Both of the warriors not looking so happy, but I think the big guy with the shield would probably go first, tromp down the stairs and batter down the door. And I will give you a 3 dice engagement because you've definitely got the advantage at this point. And roll 2 6s. So set whatever trap you like ready.
Oh, no, that was
you.
us. We
right. The world stuff is for you. Yeah.
Phew. I thought we'd.
When I roll, like also when I'm making decisions, if I roll bad, it means they get a good thing. So usually I'm rolling on your side. It's only when I'm specifically rolling as them that I want good the other way around, if you see what I mean. But it's a bit funky to get that in your brain. So yeah, exactly where you'd like to be, you are. You know they're coming, and you can prepare it any way you like.
So again, it's always a bit awkward with knowing what the limits are.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I kind of had in mind, like just for use, if it was just me doing something in combat, was going to be like have like a glass globe full of fire ants, nasty, bitey, stingy ants.
Okay, yeah.
And I was going to sort of lob this at them. But if we have time to prepare, then I might sort of balance it above the door or something.
Yeah, that's fun. I like to imagine Tereth has an ant farm of fire ants. And keeps fire ants in the dungeon ready for such an occasion. That's fun. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, absolutely. Because of your success, that is there. You've succeeded.
Excellent.
I'd like you to make a roll to see like no, I'm being mean. You've had the time you need. It is set up. It's not necessary to roll that. I guess I was trying to think about what sets it off. But I think you could just have a rope that you pull that makes it drop at the right moment, so you don't need to have a thing in this thing.
I was hoping for something that would get right into the cracks in the armor,
Yeah,
sort of.
Absolutely perfect. So Tereth is ready on this rope as soon as they come in. Slee and Osric, what do you want to be? Bebo, by the way, is nowhere to be found. In case you were wondering.
Well, they're just hiding in their invisibility cloak, right? They'll make an appearance when we need them.
Hope so.
I was going to put a Slee above the door, but I don't really want to get too close to the fire ants.
Well, you could wait until the fire ants have dropped. It's not like you have to be on with the fire ants.
I have a very stupid idea in my head that makes no sense.
Sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
I have some magic knives.
Oh, yeah.
That when you are hit by them, you teleport randomly. And for some reason, I want to tie one to the end of a rake. So that when someone steps in, the end of the rake goes up and hits them.
You could just drop the knife on them.
I thought a rake. I don't know why we'd have a rake. But that is the first thought.
I mean, they'll be distracted. They'll be distracted by the fire ants.
I love how
they're more likely to step on the rake.
is also worse than just throwing a knife at them.
Yeah, it is.
There's no advantage to this, but it's funny.
Because then I can be somewhere else with another
Proper
knife.
sideshow Bob moment. By the way, does it say a distance on these knives or just teleport to another location?
I think it's to like the area.
Yeah.
I don't think it has like an exact. Oh my
Okay,
God.
and it's random,
Wait,
so it could be anywhere. Okay.
I can try and find it.
Okay, that's fine. Osric, what are you doing while John's looking at that?
The bar's been set. What are you doing?
Yeah, God. I think
you could have started even a ritual if you want. You've had time because they healed as well in the thing, so you've had time to raise undead or start working on something different or bigger.
Osric has a plan which involves does he know? He knows that one of these people is like the Duke's son.
I think so.
Okay. His plan is going to release into the world whatever soul is in his weird soul stone, and will be preparing a spell with the intention of capturing the soul of this Duke's son.
I think that is a ritual. I think you've been preparing a ritual to specifically capture this guy's soul. That sounds perfect. Wow. You've effectively got a trap, maybe like like an evil circle set up on the floor, and you need him to be in
some
it, and then you can
marks on the floor. Yeah.
That's what
pentagram.
I love it. So that's what you've been preparing. Yeah, perfect.
Rake goes here, ants go there, soul extraction circle. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, this sounds good. But you don't have any undead or anything at the moment. Okay, that's fair. I think I was going to say I could make you make a roll to have time to do both, but that seems excessive anyway. So, okay. Actually, I want you to make a roll to see how your ritual is going. If you totally fail, you might need more time to prepare it because it's still a ritual.
Okay. Can I use my overload on this? You open your. It's when I go hard with a spell, but maybe this is not quite a spell yet.
This is a ritual. It's only a tier 1. I think it's only fair to give you a relatively easy ritual given you have the item for it.
Okay. Very good.
So you only need a success.
I got a mixed.
A mixed. Okay. So I think it's going to take a little bit longer. You're going to need like one more roll. Even a fail will do it, but you just need to make that roll rather than do other things, if you see what I mean.
Okay. Yeah.
So Tereth is mid-ritual. And the big guy with the shield bashes down the door and is in the room directly underneath the ants. Is Tereth letting go?
I will trigger the ants, yes.
Cool. It's worth saying there's a little gap between them, so you're not sure how much ant will get on the others, but certainly this dude's going to be covered in ant. No amount of roll is needed. The bottle breaks, and I think there's maybe a second or two before he notices. So he stomps kind of probably towards you. You're probably the nearest one, but I would like you to make me a roll for how painful these ants are. I want to give you 3 dice. I think this is a pretty nifty, clever idea.
Excellent.
Pretty good chance of being problematic.
2 twos, but a 6. 2, 2, 6.
6. Okay, so he's stopped by these ants, which is what you wanted. He kind of reaches for. He's got a shield in his other hand. He's got a mace, and he's kind of goes like that, and then he doesn't drop the mace, but he goes and starts like rubbing frantically like down the back of his helmet and tips back a little bit.
Excellent.
All of a sudden with shock. So Slee, were you on top of the door effectively? Oh no. What was going on with your plan? I was just remembering the rakes again.
You know what? I like to be up high. Yeah, I'll be up. Somewhere.
Are you going to leave upon this guy with the, or are you going to leave him?
No, I'm not touching the guy with the ants.
So I think the leader, the guy who talked to you, has come through the door now with his sword and shield out, and he's not immediately rushing to help his friend. He's trying to find the next one he could stab. I think he might have caught Osric in that ritual circle. Might be good for Osric, and he's walking towards you, kind of eyeing the ritual cautiously, not like charging in, but with his shield up and his sword pointed at Osric. So Slee, you're a bit behind him now and above him.
I'm gonna wait for the dwarf.
Gotcha. Okay.
I've never eaten a dwarf before.
Well, I'm going to go to Tereth first. I think, Tereth, you've got a chance to try and stab or do something immediately with this dude, having just let go of the rope. He's not acting on you right this second.
You're on mute, Steve.
We have big chap with ants.
Mm-hmm.
We have leader.
Who is going towards Osric, so he's going a slightly different direction from you. And then the dwarf hasn't come in the room yet.
I think to start with, I'm. Yeah.
I love to start with as if this is a menu. I think I'll take the ants, the starters.
Mm-hmm. There's a process to follow here. You can't just sort of, you know. I think I will take out the poker. That this isn't going to go well because I don't have points in Smash unless I can come up with a reason for using another skill.
A reason other than becoming a monster, you mean? Sure.
Yeah. Well, you see, I didn't. You know, the time's not right yet.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, just so I think either like, I mean, I don't have any points in finesse either, but I'd maybe try to jab the whilst the big chap Centurion, but I don't know that is flailing around with the ants. I would like to poke him quite hard and firmly somewhere vulnerable with the poker.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good. Go ahead and make. I can't see a case for other than Smash for this, unless you can.
I mean, I mean, not that I've got 0 in both, but it doesn't really matter.
No, fair enough.
But I would get, if it was finesse, I would get.
I'll let you have a finesse for the sake of practice.
So kind. So this is 2 dice and pick the worst, I presume. Yes, a 5 and a 2. So.
Okay. Yeah. So. Well, yeah, a mixed is enough to do a damage. So.
Oh yeah, but it was no, it was.
Oh, sorry, you chose the worst. Yeah. Never mind. You jab at him and just hit metal. He doesn't seem to have noticed. Okay, Sleep. The dwarf cleric is directly underneath you. His bald head shining up at you. He has not noticed you. Actually, no, I am going to give him a roll to notice because he's the most cautious of them. He actually has a specific thing for that. But you probably will still get to the drop on him. He rolls a 6. So at this exact second when you're above him, he looks up.
Dang. Okay. Well, I'm going to drop on him anyway.
Fair. So he's going to try and push you off so you don't get directly on top of him. So I think that's a reaction. No, you should both roll. So you give me a probably finesse, and he will give 1 back. He's not very good at finesse. So you got a 6. Well, there's 1 dice.
I got 2 5s, but I can't beat a 6.
He pushes you off successfully. So he looks up and goes and pushes you to the side. You do not successfully get on top of him, and you're effectively engaged in combat rather than having to have the drop on him. He does not have any moves left, however. Okay, this dude who's attacking you, the leader, Osric. Are you just kind of still finishing? You have 1 more roll to do on your ritual, but it's safe to say he's going to attack you before you finish it, unless you could just finish it and be attacked if you want. Or
I think I'll go for that. I'll just finish it and be attacked. I'll try and be attacked as little as possible, but
I'll tell you what. Give me a finesse roll to finish the ritual, and the finesse will tell us how much you managed to get out of the way while finishing the ritual.
Okay.
I imagine this is almost like a ritual finishing. We're going dodging sword strikes while finishing it.
Exactly. Chanting while dodging.
Exactly.
I got a 1 and a 6.
You succeed at dodging sword strikes. However, he is going to use his last move on you as well. So he is going to attempt to use a knockback kick to force you out of your ritual circle. Which is actually quite a good idea that not many knew it, because he won't destroy the ritual circle, it will prevent you from being able to do the ritual until you can return to it. Let's see if he succeeds at that first of all. He rolls a 6. So that is gonna it's not going to harm you because it's specifically to move you around. It's going to push you to the floor, and you're going to have to basically get yourself back up to get back into this situation. And you can't fight him without doing that. So he's got an advantage on you when he next decides to attack you. Now standing over you mightily, having forced you to the floor. I am going to make a roll for the big guy to see if he is going to be able to do anything other than scratch the ants. What does he have? No moves to help. Probably
What?
just
He has no moves that.
to help against ants.
Should have taken the anti-ant ability.
Should have done, yeah. Oh gosh. He does roll a success though, so he is emboldened sufficiently to have a go at Terrace. He's in a bad situation. He's got a downside to effect, but he does roll a lot of dice trying to attack you here. And he does roll a 6. So that means unless you resist, you will take a harm here. One of your 2 hurts.
I think, how does resistance work again?
You make a roll, spend stress according to how your roll works, and the roll just has to make sense for the context of the situation. So I think a success is 1 stress, prevent effects. A critical success is no stress, prevent effects. A mixed is 2 stress, prevent some, and a failure is 2 stress, prevent nothing.
And I have to pick a skill with
That
which
makes
to
sense for this context. Yeah.
God. Any suggestions?
Failure, 3 stress. Oh, you still partially resist on the failure, but you spend 3 stress. Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, like the obvious ones are sort of, I guess.
Finesse would be the logical.
Yeah.
But you don't have.
But we're saying that practice XP don't count until the end.
Sorry, I'm pretty sure you level at the end of a session, so I don't think you will get your levels now. Being mean, aren't I?
I mean, maybe could I suggest, I don't know, trick, like a feint, some sort of.
Describe how you trick him. I mean, I could see you using your brain to actively trick him. You know, he seems like quite a slow guy. Perhaps you're kind of like, it's less of a movement and more of a like. I
mean, I do have a cloak on, so maybe flourishing the, although I have to say, I forgot that I had what do you call it? A shock on brains initially. So
it's not been used yet.
It's not been used yet.
So it should be on this roll if we're being fair.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
So
go on then, make your trick with your shock, I think.
So I will have 2 dice. I'm rolling 1 instead. I rolled a 2.
So spend the stress and partially resist. That's a shock on guts.
Oh, that's upsetting. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm now at 4 stress.
As he whacks you thoroughly in the ribs and doesn't really break the skin, but does totally wind you, and you collapse heaving to the floor.
That's not very nice.
Let's have a Slee combat then. I think Terrace probably won't have a moment to strike back in this particular segment. Slee, what are you doing?
I sort of we've missed the opportunity for the rake, I think. So I'm gonna that's gonna be used later.
Sleep's like, give me the rake! Give me the rake, Osric!
Depot gets home. Rakes himself in the gets stabbed by a dagger and teleported back somewhere else. The walk
Over the bottomless pit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna.
Beepo. The reason Beepo wasn't here is because he was buttering his toast with the one of those daggers and accidentally cut himself.
The toast flies off into.
He's casting a ritual to find where his toast is gone.
Adorable.
There's just a big stack of toast in one undiscovered
Yes,
cave of the dungeon.
There's just like a little magical fairy that's just like, oh. Sorry, this is totally nonsense. We probably go back to the main screen now, so we don't have the map up anymore.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, John, you were saying what you were doing.
I guess I'll just knife fight the dwarf.
Yeah, sounds likely. So the dwarf has a staff, and it's safe to say doesn't look particularly competent in combat. So go ahead and knife fight the dwarf.
Finesse.
Yeah, finesse is good.
1 sec. It's not by surprise, so it's not that. And those aren't applicable. Right. 4. It's mixed.
Okay, I got mixed on this end too. So basically, you're holding the fight with the dwarf, who deftly keeps you at bay with that staff. It's fair to say he's backing up into the corner, but is not managing to. But you're not managing to strike them or do them any harm.
Is he backing up towards the rake? Can I roll a d6 to find out?
Yeah, go on. If it's a 6, yes.
It's a 2.
No, the rake's over there somewhere. Are you doing anything else such as spitting poison, or are you saving that?
I think this is an opportunity to spit poison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, certainly against the bald guy wearing no helmet, it seems like he'd be most effective.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, I think you can. I mean, have we made you roll for spitting poison before? I can't remember. I think we do we?
I think I usually take people by surprise.
Mm-hmm.
So no, but I'm happy if you want me to roll another finesse.
Finesse, I think, yeah. All the finesse rolls for Slip.
Good, it's my highest skill.
Well positioned to this.
Oop. That's 6.
Describe how the poison affects this guy. It doesn't do immediate damage, does it? It's more of a like.
No, it's the options are blinding, disorienting, slowing, or nauseating.
Yeah, describe the effect you choose.
I think so. They're there, they're fighting. Knife versus staff. Slee's trying to sort of get in for an opening. The dwarf is sort of holding them back just enough, but obviously focusing on the weapon and not Slee's face. Slee makes a horrible retching noise. Their cobra hood like flares up like those little dinosaurs from Jurassic Park in the bits. I don't know what they're called. I was not a dinosaur person. Thank you. Little cobra hood flares up and it hits the dwarf square in the eye, and he stumbles back, sort of wipes his face off, readies his staff, stumbles, and then turns to the side and goes.
Yeah, that exactly as you described will happen, and you're going to have a very easy attack on him next time you get round. But we'll go back round. I would like to go to the much harder situation Osric is in, on the floor. You're going to have to make me a finesse roll to not be basically a sitting duck for this dude to stab in the face.
Okay.
Osric.
I do not want to be that, so I'll do my best. Another 6 and another 1. So, success.
Nice. Very good. Yeah, so you roll out the way as the dude is coming towards you, and effectively you are in combat now. You're equal to each other. Do you want to strike at him, or do you want to try and get away to do something else nefarious?
I want to try and get back into my ritual circle, if at all possible, and kind of, if he wants to fight me, kind of lure him in there.
Yeah, exactly. You know he needs to die in there, but equally, the circle might help you do the killing of him.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can. I think your finesse roll was enough to maneuver back in that direction. He's going to follow you, and he's going to try and strike at you as you move towards the circle. And you have that for this roll. He doesn't have any moves left, and he only gets a mixed. So he hits you, and you're going to get a shock to nerves. But he's exactly where you want him.
Can I resist that?
Yeah, you can try and resist that. Yeah,
I think I will try and resist that. What do I resist with?
whatever
Right.
you think makes sense. This is someone attacking you with a sword.
Finesse, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Semi-reasonable finesse.
So, yeah, you got it.
Okay, so that's a mix for me, which means I think I take 2 stress.
2 stress and partially resist. Yeah. So basically, your partial resist is going to be you've stumbled again. You take no shock, but you're in a slightly worse position for your next situation. Tereth, facing this monster who is in a fairly bad position for his attacks. You've not succeeded at poking him very well. He's flailing around with this mace somewhat effectually. It's safe to say he did hit you pretty hard, but he hasn't done you any grievous injury. Did that maybe make you angry?
Yeah, I'm not best pleased.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think I will probably hiss something along the lines of "You really shouldn't have done that."
Mm-hmm.
And yes, invoke a beast form. So I guess I'd like if he's winded me, I'd be crumpled down on the floor and then sort of yes, there'd be a rippling undulation under my cloak and horrid cracking sounds, and after a few seconds, yes, Tereth has transformed into some sort of hellhound creature, some large, hideous beast. The mask is now kind of smashed on the floor, I think. The mask I usually wear. And yes, I'm obviously going to swap banter and smash scores.
That seems helpful. That's also logical. I don't think this monster is particularly good at banter, to be honest. Have Slee and Osric ever seen this before? What do you think, Tereth? Tereth, I feel like probably hasn't done this, shown this before, talked about this before. This is
Probably
totally new
not.
to them.
Probably not.
Okay, so make of it what you will, Slee and Osric. Tereth has turned into a ravening monster upon being hit by the large knight.
Yes, I should say that you get another dark impulse at this point in this form. It's obviously going to be cruel.
Love it. You know what? I just thought about dark impulse as well. I'm actually going to give Osric a dark heart for playing well to the obsessed dark impulse, because you're thinking about nothing but your ritual for the sake of forsaking your own safety. So I forget about the dark ritual, the dark heart stuff, but that's quite good for that. Yeah, I don't think you had vengeance. Yeah, that's good. Okay, I think it's only fair that this dude will have another chance to hit you, just because the transformation will probably take a second, but he's still not in a great place for it. So he's going to get that, but he's not going to have as great an effect. And he's just going to fail. He misses you completely. His mace just smashes into the ground near your head. It's safe to say he's still quite distracted. He's still wailing and trying to scratch with his shield hand, like it's very unpleasant. You can see like red pustules already, like along his nose through the slit of his armor. Is it smashing time? Monster Tereth?
I think so. Yeah. Internal voice Tereth would be saying, "Let me help you with that," but obviously it just comes out as a snarl.
Yeah. I love how maybe a monster of the same species could understand those words, but everyone else hears it as horrific snarling.
Yeah, and I will now use 3 smashing dice,
Very nice.
which is quite interesting. Here we go. Oh, 1, 2, and a 4.
Mixed. Well, a mixed will give him 1 damage. So this dude is not looking happy. He's not healthy. But he's still on his feet, flailing at you. I think it's probably time for him to use his final move, because he's pretty in a pretty bad way here. So he's going to attempt to bull rush you into the wall with a smash roll to try and force you back and hurt you. But again, he's in a bad situation to do it because of the ants. Okay, he gets a miss. So he's not going to do any damage, but he's going to succeed at pushing you back against the wall. So he's got you pinned there, and you're going to have a smash off against each other to get out of the situation. But in doing so, he's forsaken his mace. So it's quite good for you in a way. You're going to get it back. Okay, Slee and Cleric Man. Yeah, I think you safe to say you can have the drop on him in the knife fighting, especially since he's currently vomiting and isn't really doing. He's vomiting and he's still trying to keep his eye on you. It's not like he's totally forgotten the fight, but he's kind of like half there, like with it dripping down his front.
I have a very important question.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have a beard?
Yeah, he has a beard.
That's disgusting.
Yeah,
that's nothing to do with what I'm about to do. I just needed it for.
By the way, it's not disgusting because of the vomit. It's just Slee has a real abhorrent hatred of beards, not being able to grow one.
Just mammals that grow hair and then they grow it on their face.
Mm-hmm. And then it's on the meat when you're trying to eat it. It's
yeah. No. I think I'll just stab him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead. Make your roll.
That's a mixed.
Okay, 1 damage to Cleric Dude. He does not get any chance to do anything against that. You stab him. He's still kind of moving around, like he dashes back, but you get him deep in the thigh. And he kind of goes, ugh, as he's the last of the vomit is still coming out of his mouth. Okay, Osric. Osric, this dude, you're kind of stumbling again, and this dude is just trying to end you. He's had enough of these games of moving around. He's right in the middle of the circle. He's going to have initiative on this strike once again. And that is 2 6s. So you're going to have to resist this pretty damn good, mate.
Okay. I will do my best.
Mm-hmm.
I'll spend one of my I got a new dark heart.
Yeah, it seems like a good idea to spend that now.
See what happens. That is 3 3s. So
oh no!
No successes.
Can you remember? Obviously, not Beast Tereth, but is this a role I can help with? I don't know.
I think you can help with any role with your skill, right?
You can spend. Oh, I can't. No, I can't because I'm on 5 or 6 stress.
Oh, well, you could just go feral.
I mean,
I love the logic of going feral to help your friend remember something. Like, really annoyed that Osric messed up. Just like, sent him over the edge.
I told you about this, Osric.
I kind of like it.
I told you people come at you with swords. I mean, this is actually very terrible. It's true.
Go on, man. Why the hell not? Go on.
Okay, so I need to remind myself exactly what happens when you go feral.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Let me find that section. But yeah, you can re-roll that, Sam. 58.
I do now get a 6.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Thank you very much,
so
Tara.
You, it's a good job you got 6. So even a mix would have had you taking a wound there. So your 6 means you get a shock to guts. So he's beating you back good. He batters you with the hilt end of the sword, but he still hasn't managed to do you any serious injury.
What does shock do again?
Shock means your next roll will be one tier lower, and then it goes away on anything guts wise. When you go feral, the entire table will give input on what form it takes. Play stops and discussion begins. What's the most impulsive thing I can do right now? Replace impulsive with your dark impulse. You have to act immediately on this impulsive decision. Yeah, basically, yeah, it has to be. I mean, you're in quite a good position to go feral, I'd say.
Yes, dark impulses are big mouth and cruel at this point.
And
big mouth now could just mean big mouth.
I mean, Big Mouth, the spirit of Big Mouth is about like complaining about people. I just can't see it working with the monster. So is it going to have to be excessive cruelty, do we think?
It's probably going to have to be excessive cruelty, yes.
Yeah, okay. So I think your objective is to get the helmet off this man and tear his eyes out with your fingers. That's what you have to physically do right now. Well, you don't care about the fact he's pressing you against the wall. That's my suggestion, but what about others?
Does Beast Tareth have fingers?
Don't know.
Large, beastly fingers?
I mean, removing the whole head would be quite satisfying as well, biting it
But
off.
slowly.
Maybe
Okay,
big,
yeah.
After all.
big mouth can just mean that his head fits in your mouth, so you gotta bite it off.
Oh, I want a bit of clarification. It has to be cruel, not just killing. You have to be unnecessarily horrible about it. So probably
Sounds
a
to
slow
me
and painful
like you
death.
eat the head last.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to eat him from the part that keeps him alive longest. I would have to do that.
God.
Eyes, then arms, then legs.
Yeah,
Then head.
that could be a thing. That could be a thing. What do you think, Steve? It has to be your final call on what is truly cruel to this. I'm rapidly feeling bad for this dude.
Well, I mean, certainly, trying to extract the eyes by sort of,
Yeah, the eyes.
yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
I mean, trying to suck them out of his head would be pretty cool.
Yeah, you got it. Your objective is to suck this man's eyes out of his head before killing him. Perfect. First of all, make me a smash roll to get. I mean, I think you're actually aiming to get his helmet off. You're not aiming to get unpinned from this place because your sole objective is this now, effectively.
So again, this is 3 dice. 2, 6, 6.
Yeah, his helmet is off, and you're gripped upon his head, ready to suck those eyes out. It's fair to say you did this quick enough that he screams and lets go of you, but you're still upon his head. This is such a fun moment. I want to keep going with this. I think he's flailing around though, so I think you're going to have finesse to be able to actually start sucking eyes out.
Okay, fine. Well, finesse is disadvantage.
Well, I mean, it's a tricky situation and all that.
Sure.
You always spend the dark card to succeed.
Well, I don't have one, do I?
Fair enough. Sorry. I will.
I mean, I'm fine with this process taking quite a while. That's.
It's kind of the downside of going feral, I think, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, 2 dice. Oh yes, taking the lowest. I did roll a 1 and a 6, so it's a 1.
Pain. Okay, well, you've got him now pinned to the floor, screaming, but you haven't succeeded at sucking his eyes out. Your jaws are just all over his face. It's disgusting and horrible. We'll come back to this horrific situation in a moment.
Ants too.
Yeah, it's just all kinds of bad. Slee, come on, let's finish this vomiting cleric.
It's time for another knifey, I think.
It's not one of the displacy knives, is it? Just a normal knife?
No.
Okay.
I don't want to run the risk. I don't know where he's going to vomit if I do that. He could just appear above me. Like, just because I've done it to him. 6 and 2 5s.
Okay. Well, that is a success. So the cleric is. I mean, where do you stand, the cleric? He's not dead, but badly injured.
You mean after I've stabbed him?
Yeah. No. Describe the stabbing. You got the success, so describe what you've done to him. And yes, he's badly injured after the stabbing.
He's writhing around in a way that you don't often expect your fighting partner to do. So I think I sort of just like slash out a bit randomly and sort of maybe get him across the chest or across the arm. I don't know where's armored. Almost kind of trying not to get any of it on me. Yeah. It's a bit of a kind of thing.
Well, you slash his beard partly off and across kind of the upper chest and shoulders and his armor. He doesn't have as heavy armor as the other two, and you catch an area across his these bones, clavicle basically, and go deep into his flesh, and blood pours out, and he wails, clearly terrified that he is outmatched by you, and terrified that he's out of moves as well. But he's going to try and whack you back because he's now got a bit of sense back to himself with his 1 dice, and get a mixed, which I think will give you a shock to nerves.
I will. Hang on. Nerves.
Yeah, you can try and resist.
Nerves?
Or is that,
You mean brains?
Brains, thank you, brains.
Yeah, I'm going to try and resist.
He's
I'm
trying
going
to
to
clunk
try
on
and
the head.
dodge, so I'll go for finesse again.
Yeah.
It's mixed. So 2 stress.
Partially resist 2 stress. You basically you'll have to fall over. That's what. Sorry, you do fall over with that. So effectively, you've dodged, but you've lost your footing and have fallen back. So you have a disadvantage in the next fight thing with him.
Okay.
It's turned to a chunky combat. Osric, I don't think you're in any particular disadvantage anymore, right? No. Fine.
Hopefully not.
Are you gonna try and do anything else other than keep him in the circle? Are you trying to whack him or get some?
Yeah, I'm gonna cast a spell at him.
Oh yeah,
and I'm gonna cast a necromancy spell called Life Siphon. Right, siphon the life's energy, healing my wounds. But instead of healing my wounds, I'm gonna start pulling his energy into this soul stone, just to make sure he cannot escape.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to get a success, not a mixed, on this for it to work, because you're in the heat of combat. I think that's quite a hard situation to have to succeed at a spell like this, but it will have improved effect if you succeed because of the circle.
Okay, cool. I would be 1 dice down because it's guts, invoke his guts.
Oh, pain.
I'm going to spend one of my last dark heart, and also I'm gonna do my overload, which is I get an extra dice, but I can't resist any consequences, and I get for going hard, basically, kind of thing. So it helps me a little bit.
Okay.
Ooh, it's only a mixed, sadly.
Oh, I said it'd be hard on the mix. So basically what happens is it's taking you too long to cast the spell, and he's going to have a chance to hit you before you can cast it. So I might be nice and give you another chance with those same advantages, if you see what I mean. Because I think you can only use the dark art. Well, you'll use the dark art once. So effectively, you'll still be casting the same spell, but you've been interrupted by him slashing you. With a double 6 again. Oh, this dude.
Oh god.
Okay. Did it say you couldn't resist consequences?
Yes, it did. But that was of the my spell consequences. I don't know if that counts for his hit.
No, going hard. Well, the thing is, I can see interpreting both ways, because you're kind of going hard on the spell, uncaring for your own safety, which could also. What do the other two think? Do we think that would include or wouldn't include this circumstance?
I don't know. Because it's a separate action.
It is a separate action, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So thematically, perhaps, but mechanically not. So we'll stick with the mechanically side. You're lucky.
Okay. I mean, I can resist this, but it will make me feral unless I crit it, in which case I think you don't.
Yeah, critting it will do it. I think you need to resist it. I'm going to say now.
I'm going to resist it, but I will go feral in doing so. Okay. I literally crit it. I got a double 6.
Oh my gosh. You completely resisted that critical attack. Wow. You are so lucky.
That is it.
Okay, he's stabbing right for the heart while you're in the middle of the spell. Your eyes are rolled back in your head. And at the exact second you need to, you just snap into consciousness and just move exactly the correct amount to the side so his blade misses you almost freakishly fast. That was so lucky.
That was
so those heart stabbing drills that Terreth and Osric have been practicing.
Terreth running through my head. Don't let them stab you, Osric. That's where you're going wrong.
Just of course. So Terreth, we have a bit more eye sucking then?
Sure.
Let's have a bit of smash.
Okay.
He's going to try and do something about this as well. Go on, we'll both roll.
I'm right. Okay, we're both.
You roll. I'm just rolling to kind of get a feel for his action as well. Okay.
That's good. 2, 3, 5. So mixed.
Okay. That means you haven't gained any advantage, so you'll still need to make the finesse roll. Effectively, you're not holding him down in any way successfully to not need a finesse roll to suck his eyes out.
Okay. Disadvantage finesse roll then. 2 and a 4, so still fail.
Yeah. So unfortunately, with him wriggling,
those eyes are proving elusive.
You have those eyes,
but they will taste all the better for it.
God. I love the imagine there's just some like long tongue involved in this monster, just like horrifically lashing across his face as well. He's just like
I was thinking of the Samael character from one of the Hellboy films, and I believe that does have a pretty
yeah. Oh, it's just so awful. Oh, I'm feeling real bad for this dude. Okay, can Slee finish off this cleric?
What does this?
Sorry,
what was that roll for?
That was the cleric. Trying to hit you.
Right.
And failing.
What does disadvantage mean? Practically, do I have one less dice?
For practically speaking, it means you will have less. A success will have less effect.
Okay.
So it's like lowered your success level. So a crit will do down. A crit will do 2 damage. A success will do 1. A mixed will do 0.
That's a mixed.
0 it is. So effectively, you've gained back the situation you're in. You're in evens, but you haven't managed to hit him. I didn't think combat in this could be quite chunky, but it is when you've got heroes you're fighting, isn't it?
Especially 3 of them.
Yeah, well, it was quite
6 eyes though, so it's upsides.
Yeah, delicious eyes. Okay, Osric.
Can I add an extra bit of flavor?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm like we're knife versus staff, sort of neither of us getting the upper hand, and Slee like goes for a slash, it wedges into the dwarf's staff, and Slee shouts, "Beepo, now!"
And nothing happens.
Maybe it does. How do we know?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't though. Nothing happens. But
you sure?
Sure. Just because something doesn't happen here doesn't mean nothing happens.
I will assure you that something in the world has happened. Yes.
Smash cuts to invisible Beepo somewhere pooing on a relic.
Exactly. Oh gosh. Osric, finish this spell.
I'll try.
Same roll you made.
I guess it is the same roll because now my guts are back, right? After one roll of bad guts, they get better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the same roll. Okay, 1-6.
Nice. Oh, that's good. So this dude is not looking happy. His face is going grey and pale as I think your life leeching doesn't make them bleed. It instead makes them look like they're aging, like they're crumbling to dust. He still looks like he wants to kill you, but his eyes are going pale and whitened as you sap the energy from his body.
My soul crystal is rattling with Duke energy.
You're close. You can feel it. But he is nonetheless going to stab out at you and fail utterly with 2 and 2 1s.
Osric laughs, prematurely anticipating his victory.
Slee, is it time to finish this cleric?
Hopefully.
Finally. I'm going to make his little 1 dice roll. Okay.
5.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So another bit of cleric chipped away. Cleric is basically off. He's on his last legs now. He's barely standing. Is this man as you've stabbed his other leg, so he's literally barely standing. Okay, let's go straight back to Terrace because we're nearly there. Smash. Right,
3 dice.
3
335. Still mixed.
Okay, yeah. Well, he got failure. So I don't think you've got a mix. It's not really. Give me a
Perhaps
finesse.
I've just got one eye halfway out. How's that?
Yeah, gosh, it's just
Am I
nearly there.
helping?
Nearly there. Exactly. Make me a finesse roll, but I'll give you more if you get it mixed.
Okay, again,
That's
it's
the-
2 dice take the lowest. Oh, this time 4 and a 5. So
Okay, so you got a mixed. You have successfully sucked out one of this man's eyes.
Hey.
It's blood everywhere, and it's horrific, and I'm going to do a damage for that. And yeah, it's safe to say the screaming has reached a new pitch, and he's kind of lost his senses at this point. This is real horrific stuff. But there's still another eye to go.
This game goes to some strange places.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, Osric. Are you basically doing the same thing again?
No, Osric, seeing that his spell has worked, is gonna pull his knife, his weirdly like curved long knife, and is gonna try and stab this guy to take, hopefully, the last of his life.
Yeah, go ahead.
Which is only a finesse roll, I think. But
yep, unless you want to make us, you make a smash instead if you wanted. But...
Smash is worse. Finesse. This seems fun. Oh, it's a failure. 2 2s.
Okay, he's gonna come at you and get 2 6s again. Oh my god, this dude. Is that the second or third time he's rolled 2 6s on? Okay, he does have 3 dice to be fair, but even so, he's a pretty bad.
Still.
Yeah,
I did say Osric's laugh was premature, which makes sense.
You did warn us. Yeah. I'm guessing you're resisting.
Yeah, I'm gonna resist.
Finesse.
Yeah, finesse. Again, I will go feral if this doesn't crit. So
Crit, yeah.
It's a mixed. So
mixed. Okay, well he got a crit, so I'm sad to say that's going to be a wound for you.
Okay.
But you do not get a wound and a bad thing, which is what would have happened for a crit attack on that.
Okay, and I also go feral.
Yeah, Osric, you are slashed right across the chest and shoulder, and a big part of you is opened up and is bleeding. Your left arm is almost hanging limp because you have 2 wounds, so this is half your life. It's safe to say it's a brutal and devastating cut he's finally managed on you. And despite the ailment which is overcoming him, he yells, "Hurrah! This guy has a thing where the more damage he's dealt, the better he gets."
Uh-oh. That's not what I wanted to do.
That's his passive.
So, am I right in saying that Osric is now blooded? Is that's
yes,
the wound
bloodied,
system?
that's the wound. Yeah, so one more hit and Osric will die.
Does bloodied
Right.
affect all my stuff as well?
It does, yeah. So you take shock to all of your 3
Okay.
Okay,
stats.
so take.
If you clear shock from all of them, then you clear the blooded condition.
Okay. Nice.
Wicked
this is
ones can
page,
recover quickly.
yeah, page 44,
Thanks,
I believe. Yeah,
we haven't had bloodied very much, so it's good. That stabbing didn't go quite as well as you'd hoped. Slee,
The magic.
Slee, what are we going to do with this cleric? This cleric who is almost completely dead.
They're almost completely dead. Are they in a state to be running away?
No, this cleric is very stubborn and will not leave the Lord.
I think as I see Osric get stabbed and whatever he's doing apparently not working, which is so weird because normally Osric is just really, really on it with all of his spells, and I've never witnessed anything go wrong when he does magic. But clearly he needs some help right now, so I'm going to ignore the dwarf, jump on the Duke's son's back, and garrote him round the throat, like under where the helmet
Yeah,
in
that makes
helmet.
sense.
I'm assuming he's not wearing like a gorget or anything. I'm hoping he's not wearing a gorget. Please don't have him wearing a neck piece.
You are going to the cleric will try and strike you as you go, and roll a 6, so you're gonna have to resist.
If we all go feral in this,
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
I'm rather than it's still a finesse. Mixed. I'm going to just spend a stress to use my prowler. Could I manage that?
What's the prowler again?
Prowler is an incredible feat of agility.
Okay, how often can you use that?
I spend a stress to perform it.
Oh, you can just use that. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think that makes sense in this context.
It's like just dashing across from one side of the room to the other.
Yeah, yeah. And that also makes sense that you can have an attack immediately upon this dude from your leaping upon his back. I think I'll give him a chance to notice you, though. Not a good chance. You rolled a 6.
Okay, so he knows.
These dice are weighted against you tonight. Yeah, he notices you. He spins around, so you cannot get a garrote on his back, and you're effectively going to have to engage him in combat when he'll get the chance to hit you back, unless you want to do something else.
You know what? I still got one more supply of poison.
Yep. You're gonna.
Let's try that.
Poison him good. Okay.
Yep.
He's gonna try. Yeah, you go and make a roll. Sorry. Yeah, it's you who does it. He doesn't know.
Double 5, so mixed.
Okay. What are you trying to? Is this another vomity bit of poison?
This will probably be a disorientating.
Okay. Okay. So he's gonna get one less dice on his next roll, but he's still going to attack you, and he's going to try and attack you right now with one less dice.
Okay.
And get a single 6, so you'll have to resist. He's rolling 4 dice now because he's really badly wounded.
I'll try and resist with finesse.
And
you
get a 3 on that one. Yes, you're good. You're good.
So that's 1 stress. Oh god. Does the thing end when we all go feral? Is that a thing?
I don't think there's a mechanic for game end when you all go feral. I think it's just dead or something else to the dungeon.
Okay.
And Beepo's fine somewhere.
Yeah,
so
fine,
you know.
exactly.
Yeah.
Beepo's just defecating on shrines. It's fine. He'll be back soon. Let's see if Terra can get that other eyeball, shall we?
Troy. Smash, I presume.
Yeah, smash indeed.
This time I get a 6. 3, 2, 6.
Okay. And this guy did not do well. So yeah, that smash is a success for sucking out the other eyeball of this guy. He's not dead. He's almost dead. And he's now, understandably, not very aware of what's going on around him. Thrashing about even more on the ground. It's up to you whether you think your job is done now. Perhaps other eyeballs need to be acquired. I don't know. Do you think this objective was just this dude's eyeballs, or do you think it was all the eyeballs in the room? On enemies, not
I don't know. I think this was the guy who was triggered the episode. So
yeah. Okay, I'm happy with that. You can come out of your feralness at this point, having thoroughly eaten this dude's eyeballs.
I mean, I'd probably still sort of hang around in this form for a bit just to crunch on.
Yeah. You can kill him now.
The rest of you said yes.
Okay, we'll do that in one more round effectively because that was the eyeball sucking round. Osric, this dude's not slashing at you anymore. He's trying to kill Slee, so you've got a 3.
Okay, Osric is feral, and I think Osric's obsession at this point is getting this guy's soul and killing him, but specifically getting his soul. And so it's going to go back to what.
Let me make a roll because Slee might have distracted him. I want to see if he's still in the circle or not. It's a 50-50. Because if it's the bad 50-50 here, then your obsession is going to be getting him in the circle. It's a 3, so it's bad. So he is stepped out of the circle and reacting to Slee. So if he dies now, that's really bad.
Okay. Osric is going to attempt to get him back in the circle. Like, nothing else for it.
Okay, give me a smash to try and drag him back.
Okay, I guess Osric does have enchantment spells that might do this kind of thing, but I think when you're feral, that's not how you would go about things. So I agree. It's going to be a smash. I don't have anything in smash, so it's going to be 2 and take the worst. That is predictably a failure.
Osric, you're just clawing at the man without any meaningful impact.
I think I'd also be shouting at Slee, like, get him in the circle! Get him in the circle!
Slee, he's going to attack you with 4 dice, but what is your action in this moment?
My action would probably maybe be to try and lure him back into the circle.
Okay, so you're going to try and move around so he's attacking you into the circle. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could just do that. If you're not trying to immediately attack him, then that just happens. You can move into the circle.
No, Osric's got a plan.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's fine. Okay, so he's going to try and attack you. Okay, that was good for you. That's a mixed. So it's up to you whether you want to resist, but it won't be a harm. It would just be a... that would be a shock to guts again.
I will take the hit because I don't have the stress to resist.
Cool. Okay. Tara, you have your senses back. Are you going to end this man's suffering? Perhaps not. He's moved back into the circle, by the way.
He's back in the circle. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to do a Slee and start eating.
Perfect. Okay. He's still going to try and resist you. So give me a smash.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Mixed 2, 4, 5.
Okay. With a slow and horrific crunch, you eat the man's head while the scream turns to a gurgle, turns to kind of just the exhalation of liquids and gases from mushed up bits of body as you eat. I think you'll probably get through his head and then decide whether you'd like to continue eating or not. It's pretty horrific. But he's definitely dead. I will remove him. The cleric with a desperate fury is going to lash out, I think, at Slee and just try and do anything he can to you at your back. And get a 6.
I moved around the...
Oh, yeah. Maybe it'd be Osric he'd attack them. Yeah, it's probably Osric. Yeah, okay, you're right. It's Osric.
No. That's not what I said.
He gets a 6 hitting Osric.
Oh.
No.
You just said he wasn't attacking
Osric's
you.
also on the other side of the guy.
No, you've made your case already. It's fine. He's attacking Osric.
I'm clinging to this man. Surely maybe he hits his
My
own guy.
theatre of the mind is all over the place.
But the guy's turned around to face Slee, and now you're between him and his friend. It kind of makes sense. He wants to protect his lord too.
Luckily, I'm not bloodied or anything. Oh, wait. I'm on the verge of death. Okay. I don't think I can resist, right? Because I'm feral already, so...
Yeah, do you gain stress back after that point? Have we just killed Osric?
I don't think you can do anything until you're...
yeah, you're right. You don't gain stress.
Skill rolls other than what you're doing for your feral thing.
Well, it's now the time for me to mention
surprise attack by Beepo.
It's now the time for me to mention the death knell rule, where you get to take one last action before you die.
Oh, okay, nice. That would be a great time to mention that, Sam.
Because I don't think there's anything else we can do about that, is there?
Can I... I also can't resist. So it's going to ask if I could jump in front or something.
No, I don't think you can, because...
I don't know if this would save Osric, but I mean, what Osric was intending to do, regardless of this attack, mostly to, like, I don't know if this is how it works, but was cast the life siphon spell again. That that may, like, maybe in this situation he would actually take some life for himself rather than put it in the gem.
Do you have any dark hearts left?
I have no dark hearts left.
Okay. Make the roll, and we'll see.
Okay. Osric will be going hard.
Yeah, I think that's
using
fair.
his overload, which gives him one more dice. It's only a mixed.
Okay. Osric, you sap the energy of this man who is basically collapsing at his feet, and then you feel a crack at the back of your spine, and everything goes dark. Osric has died. A moment of silence. Okay. Now, do we have the Centurion fighting?
Centurion got his eyes eaten.
Oh, sorry. No, that was the defender, the big guy. The Centurion's the leader.
Oh.
Has he hit this round?
Oh, I thought you. Oh, okay.
No, I think I never said that. I kept calling the other guy the big guy.
Right.
I think he tried to hit Slee, didn't he?
Yes.
So I think and Slee moved around. Yeah, so it's Slee and him again this round. And then Tereth will get a chance. You've seen Osric collapse off the back of this dude, who didn't seem to particularly notice, to be honest. There was an unpleasant crunching sound. Osric's not
sure we'll be
moving.
fine. I will throw down another smoke bomb. I could how out of it does the Centurion look at the moment?
Oh, pretty out of it. He's almost. He could be one more out of it, and that's it.
I don't really know what that
He
means.
looks better than the cleric.
If out
let's
of
say
it was
that.
a standard unit,
Okay, so he's got 2 out of it, and the cleric has 1 out of it.
Yes.
Is what we're saying here.
Yes.
I'm going to try and stab the Centurion with one of my displacement knives.
Sounds good. Go for it.
So he doesn't need to be in the circle anymore.
Yeah, I think that makes
And I
sense.
want him away from me.
Yeah, you can just do that. That's fine. You have to hit him, do your finesse, but he's not going to get a roll against you in this unless you fail. He'll try.
Oh my god! I rolled 3 2s.
In that case, he'll roll his 4 dice against you, I guess. Okay. Okay, that's 1 6.
Let's try and resist.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be good. Yeah,
This
it's
has
a
been a
success.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I
success.
resist the consequence, but I gain another stress, and I go feral.
Okay. What is your feralness?
Vengeful.
Oh, that's quite useful, really. It's got to be this dude, I think, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How does your vengeful manifest, do you think, John? Is it just really need him dead, or is it something else?
I think it's really need him dead. I need to beat him, but I need him to know that I've beaten him.
Okay, I like it. Got it. Okay, so we'll come back to that in a moment as Slee's action. Tereth, you've finished eating this dude. Osric's on the floor. The cleric is looking somewhat triumphant over Osric, who is crumpled into an unpleasant shape. And the Slee and this other dude, big guy who's not looking healthy, are kind of circling each other.
Okay. Well, I think I've just been reading the going feral rules. You do actually get a dark heart when you go feral, which I'd missed.
Did you get that dark heart, Sam?
I don't think I took a dark heart at that point. I think you'd given me a dark heart for.
I had given you a dark heart for something else, but you didn't get your dark heart for going feral.
That is true.
I'm trying to think if the dark heart could have given you anything that could have saved you. I
mean, the only thing it would have given me is 1 extra dice on my roll. But
did you have a resistance roll? You didn't have one, did you?
no, I
No,
don't
it
think
was just your.
you can't resist that. I think because you
No,
have
it was
stretch.
just your attack roll.
But he
Yeah.
may have gotten a higher ranking on his life siphon.
Yeah, but I was going to make it a crit to save his life, not a success, and he only got
Oh,
5, so he could still
not
couldn't have
make
saved
it.
himself. Sorry.
Yeah.
The success
Yeah,
was
okay.
a success was going to kill him outright, but not save you. That was going to be
Okay.
the.
But
you
you
do
could
get
have
to do a
done more
death knell.
damage on the Centurion.
You could do a death knell though, yeah. Which would be one final great spell.
But I think that my spell was my death knell.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah, you're right.
I mean, I guess I should roll it because if I get a 6, then the guy is dead, which is relevant unless he's already dead.
Go for it. Go
Mm.
for it. That seems fair.
It's only a 5, so it's still
Okay,
a max.
never mind. We'll just skip over this. I just felt like we had to acknowledge it. Anyway, Tereth, who are you going to eat?
I think so. Centurion has 2 units. Cleric is after Slee.
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry, Cleric is triumphantly over.
Yeah, Cleric is. Cleric looks like he's will turn towards Slee. Yeah, you've kind of been in your own corner with this big guy.
I think I'll use my Feral Dark Heart and do a smash on big guy, on Centurion, on leader.
On the leader. Got it. Go for it. Mm-hmm.
He's
not facing you, so he gets no chance to react to this. I will give him a chance to notice, but it's going to be a pretty bad one.
Oh God! 3 4s and a 2.
Okay, you've knocked him off balance, but you don't manage to do any damage to him. Oh,
Damage on a mixed.
Oh, sorry, you do 1 damage. You're absolutely right. Apologies. So you battered him in the ribs, basically, and he's very close to done. This is an important moment to decide who gets an
Yahtzee
action, so I'm actually going to... No, he's going to turn and try and stab at you, Tareth, because you just attacked him, and Slee is free for the moment with all of his dice. And not get anything. You are fine. Slee, is it time to finish this dude off with your vengefulness?
It is time to finish him off.
Mm-hmm.
I will, rather than fighting him like facing face, I'm just going to leap on him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look him in the eye and I'm going to stab him in the throat. That's what I intend to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also going to spend a Dark Heart.
Mm-hmm.
1/6.
Okay, that's it. Do as you will with him. Describe your vengeful ending of his life.
I jump onto the front of him. I cling onto his pauldrons. I bury my knife into his throat between whatever armor there is there. You never described a gorget situation, and I'm still confused, but it doesn't matter. I plunge my knife into his throat, and I lean close, and I say, "You're just meat now."
Love it. And he dies as you say these words, knowing that you have bested him and you will consume him. And we will end the session there with the words being yelled from the entrance to your dungeon down towards you. "Master, we're here. Do you need aid?" From the assistants who were following them earlier. Tereth, you understand those words, even in your beast form. And we'll end the session there. Oh, what a fun time. That was my 50-50 roll dungeon ending raid, which technically isn't over. So we'll see how that goes. Congratulations, you might have survived, although Osric did not. Sorry, Sam.
You're very mean.
It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I hope, will Osric's ritual still go off if this guy dies in a circle? Or does the ritual
I'll make
die
a
with
note and
Osric?
think about it.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, like, we established that the spell like got a hold of him, right?
Mm-hmm, we did, yeah, exactly. I might roll a dice just because dice are fun and we can see whether it can still go off because the thingy's in the right place and he died in the right location and stuff.
But you know what else is interesting? The first person to die in that circle was Osric.
Oh, side mission.
Oh my god, Osric's
Can
going
we-
to play
can
the
we-
game from the soul thing. Oh, that's so funny.
Osric caught in his own soul
That would be
trap. is pretty funny.
Amazing.
Mm.
But we're quite late, so we're probably not going around too long. But if there's any comments or questions to bring up, or if there's any names to read out, we can go ahead and.
I presume we'll sort XP out next time because it's kind of late.
Yes, we'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll make a note of that. It's got quite late.
Let's
So I
me
think I can
check.
see some monstrous XP being quite easily acquired. Somewhere. Can you just have 15 monstrous XP, Terry? Oh gosh, that was fun. It's nice to get go feral and really put you in a hard situation. That's by far the toughest you've been, so that was nice. And I mean, one party died, so I suppose it's inevitably pretty tough.
We've got Steve with a suggestion as to what the whispering was.
And then one knight thinks they hear another one whisper, "Your horse is rubbish." I love it. That's adorable. I'm happy to have that in roleplay terms if people want to suggest the whispers. Very entertaining. You can just have that going on in the background.
We've got 42 with some just real faith in us.
Mm-hmm. That was quite early on too, and I saw that and I was like, maybe.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. There is a little section in the book for what happens when your dungeon is defeated. It's a real possibility in this game, and there was a lot of things mounting against you for this blowback. So.
I mean, what really did it was Osric's premature victory cackling.
That's true.
I knew it at the time.
Yeah, I had set these three up to really give you a big challenge, so that was enjoyable. I think the cleric's still alive, actually, so we'll find out as well.
I was hoping to use our new prison.
Well, we'll see if he gets away next session. Kisi, we're sideshow bobbing them. Yeah. What the hell,
I'm
Joel?
so disappointed it didn't work, but also relieved that we just ignored it.
John, this went from D&D to Home Alone very quickly.
True.
And then it left Home Alone very quickly.
It did, didn't it? Yeah.
Let's see if there is anything else. Nope. Thank you for the follow from Tony Onio. Or Tony Onio.
Cool. So thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much for joining us tonight, folks. I hope you enjoyed that nearly ending session. See if they survive for the continuation of Blowback, because this is a whole Blowback session, which will continue. See if Beepo shows up. Maybe Beepo's abandoned them, who knows, in next session. Yeah, we'll catch you again. We have been telling tales. Check out our other streams. We'll be doing Warhammer next Monday. Simmering will be back at some point soon. And We Didn't Let will come along eventually. And then there's more of this in 2 weeks' time. Check those things out. There'll also be a one-shot at some point. Social media, links to everything below. Check that out too. Okie dokie. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.